So oftentimes, being an adoptive mom, I've been asked the question, when did I know that it was time to stop the infertility treatments and start pursuing adoption? So every adoptive mom you ask will have a different answer as to how they came to that point. So there's really not a one-size-fits-all answer. So for my answer, well, it didn't just happen overnight. Adoption was something that I always wanted to do since I was a young child. I remember watching The Sound of Music, my favorite movie, and thinking how wonderful it was that those kids got to have a mother again. If you haven't seen the movie, it's a great movie. I remember thinking how great it was, and I think that was the first time I was really actually exposed to what adoption was. I didn't understand that it was adoption, but I just thought it was so great those kids got to have a mom again. So I remember thinking, when I grow up, I want to adopt some kids, And so as time went on, you know, I've always kind of thought that I would adopt. I thought I would give birth to a couple children, then adopt a couple children. Because I guess, but I never really had the thought that I would only adopt growing up. Because I didn't have a reason to think that. I didn't know if anything was wrong, and there still is no reason why we can't have children. It's just a mystery. But so. Once Brett and I were married, we talked about starting our family, and it didn't happen. I think after about 2 years, we started the infertility treatments, went to tons of doctors, and if y'all been following our story for a while, you know these things. But we went to tons of doctors, and nothing worked. We did a couple IUIs, and we did everything but in vitro. But we saved up about $10,000 to do in vitro because that's about how much it cost. And we set an appointment. We had met with a new specialist, one of the top 10 in the nation, met with him, and we had a date set ready to go to start taking the fertility drugs. And so that day came, and I just didn't feel right about it. I thought, this just doesn't feel right. So I postponed it another month. And then the day came to start those infertility drugs. I felt sick about it. I just couldn't do it. My mom had flown into town and to be with me for this, and I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. I was I was kind of bitter. I didn't understand why I couldn't do it. Everybody was offering their 2 cents on why they think or how getting pregnant worked for them. If you do that, please don't do that to people that don't have kids. They don't want to know, trust me. So in the meantime, while all this is going on, I just had this aching sense to nurture. We had got a couple dogs, and I just kind of waited. But adoption, it was something I still knew was possible, but I didn't feel like I was grown up enough or mature enough or rich enough to do adoption. And I hadn't really dug deep into it. I thought adoption was more so for celebrities, and I wasn't nobody. And so so the day that I canceled the in vitro for the second time, that same day my cousin had come over, and she brought a little girl with her that she was watching that day. And this little girl happened to be adopted from Mexico. And I remember looking at this girl thinking, wow, she has an amazing life. And how different her life would have been if she hadn't been adopted. So then things start turning in my head. Things start making more sense. Like, okay, you felt so wrong about doing in vitro. You haven't gotten pregnant. There's not a reason why you haven't gotten pregnant. You haven't. But then when you see this girl, I felt like that was my answer. That is it started coming back, started making sense that this is like I was kind of led there. So that same day that I saw her, it was a busy day. So I canceled the in vitro appointment. I saw this little girl start thinking about adoption. I call an adoption agency just wanting further knowledge to, because it was time for me to get over all the misconceptions I had, and I really wanted to just invest it, really put it all in. I felt like I was done grieving the thought of a pregnancy. I was tired. I knew that there was a different plan for me. So then also that same day, after I got off the phone with the adoption people, had an appointment set to come in, talk to them. They were going to give me, they gave me the cost, they gave me everything. That same day is when I talked to a girl from work, told her we weren't doing the in vitro route anymore and that we were looking into adoption. I had felt that adoption was right. It felt that it was time. And also that same day, she told another girl that at work, that girl had confided in her that her daughter was pregnant and working with an adoption agency and hadn't been able to find a family for her home. So when my friend heard that, and knowing that we were wanting to adopt and hearing that there was a girl looking for family, she kind of, put us together. And it was a girl I knew, a lady I knew at work. I had never met her daughter, but I knew her. And so it just kind of, everything fell into place. Long story short, a couple months later, I ended up adopting her grandbaby. But it's kind of like I had known adoption was an option for a long time. I felt like I needed to give the pregnancy thing a shot because it looked so easy. Like, people made it look easy. They made it look like that maybe if I was a little bit more consistent or a little more valiant or just had a little bit more faith that it would happen for us. But I had to just think clearly and be like, no, there's a reason why it's not happening for us. And it took me a while to realize that it's because that wasn't our plan. That we were meant to adopt. Adoption, it wasn't, I don't want it to sound like that it was just a plan B or anything like that. It wasn't, but it was the plan that was meant to be. And so I guess if you are going through this right now, the one thing that really got me thinking was, what is most important to you? Is it being pregnant or being a mother? Because those are something that to consider. For me, I wanted to be a mother more than anything in the world, and it was just time. And so I felt like I was done grieving the thought of a pregnancy. And I can tell you that adoption has been the most amazing thing in my whole entire life. It makes sense of my infertility. Knowing my birth moms, and I love them so much, I do feel like my body was designed for them. And my body was designed for my children. This is the way it was supposed to be all along. And I can't be mad at that. And for so long, I grieved every day. I was so hurt. I hated baby showers. I never go. I went the long way in the store to avoid the baby section because it was so painful for me. But it was also things that, like, it made me appreciate my children so incredibly much. So, if you right now are on the fence and you are struggling with what to do next, know that you have probably done enough. You have done plenty. I know it's painful and it's embarrassing and you can feel isolated and it can be super frustrating, especially when everybody around you is having these accidental, we're pregnant, we weren't even planning. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of faith, and a lot of it. In my journey, it was always something that I thought of, but I guess I let fear get the best of me. And seeing how other people did it so easily, I thought, it's just not my turn yet. But I didn't realize that it was just time. It was time to pursue the adoption route. It's really not as scary as you think. Once you dig deeper and get over the fallacies of everything, you will know if it's right for you. It will feel right to you. You won't question it. Know that there will be hard times, and it doesn't make the pain of infertility completely go away. Do I still wish I could give birth to a biological child? Yeah, it would be nice to experience it, but is it a must? No, not at all. if you feel like you doubt whether or not you could love a child as your own that you didn't give birth to, yes, you can. 100% completely. Y'all have seen my videos. You know how amazing it is. So if you're on the fence, and even if it's something that you've just thought a little bit about, maybe there's a reason why these things are triggering now. Maybe it's your time. So don't be afraid. Even if you wonder about it, just dig deeper. I mean, at least you can give it everything you got, and you'll know if it's right for you or not. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I'm always willing to help any way I can, but it's an amazing ride. So that's how it happened for us. So everybody's different. Any other adopted mom you ask may have a similar story or maybe a far different story. So it's whatever felt right for you, and it's all with timing. I know that it's a very, I think God had so much to do with it. I know that He did, and so it's whatever feels right for you. So see ya.